March of the Faceless Crowd. A dense assembly of bald, somber men surges forward from an intense golden light flooding the background. The crowd advances with a certain inevitability, their movement unified and relentless, shadows trailing long and deep behind them. Ensor's arrangement of figures evokes not only the overwhelming force of mass movements, but also their potential menace. The glowing light's warmth is countered by the cool greenish hues enveloping the crowd, creating a dramatic tension that draws the gaze into the vortex of bodies. This composition hints at the dehumanizing effect of collective action, where individual features and voices are swallowed by the sheer weight of numbers. The scene's energy is both magnetic and unsettling, suggesting a society propelled forward by forces that may be neither fully understood nor benevolent. The uniformity of the figures. A closer look at the front row reveals striking repetition: identical bald heads, matching dark jackets, and faces set in blank and passive expressions. Ensor carefully orchestrates this uniformity, amplifying the sense of anonymity and suppressed individuality. The rigid posture of each figure, hands clenched or arms rigid at their sides, conveys tension and the threat of unspoken aggression. This visual echo is a deliberate indictment of social conformity, where the uniqueness of each person is sacrificed to the needs or greed of the collective. The figures become interchangeable, mere components in a larger mechanism devoid of empathy or identity. Their sameness is a visual metaphor for society's ability to subsume the individual under the weight of conformity and ambition, highlighting the parasitic tendencies that feed on the relinquishment of self. The play of light and shadow. The interplay between the golden radiance and murky green shadows is central to Ensor's emotional narrative. The fervent light from the background edges the figures with a flickering warmth, yet their faces and torsos remain submerged in cold, unnatural shadow. This duality in lighting heightens the painting's sense of conflict. Spiritual illumination is juxtaposed with the encroaching darkness of the crowd. Light here is ambiguous. It might represent spiritual ideals, collective hope, or the allure of progress. Yet as it outlines the faceless masses, it also reveals their shadowy, ominous character. Ensor's chiaroscuro does not clarify, but complicates, suggesting that even the brightest ideals can cast the longest shadows when corrupted by greed or embraced unthinkingly. The tension between light and darkness becomes a visual expression of moral uncertainty and the hidden costs of collective ambition. The anonymous mass. As the crowd recedes into the distance, individual forms dissolve into a murky tapestry of indistinct shapes. The background figures lack definition, their features merging into one another until only the broad movement of the group remains discernible. This deliberate loss of detail communicates the erasure of personal identity within vast societal structures. The further one looks, the more the crowd becomes an anonymous mass, relentless and inescapable. The visual effect is suffocating, echoing the sense of invisibility and neglect that often afflicts those caught in the machinery of societal greed. The indistinct multitude conjures the feeling of being swallowed by a force larger than oneself, reinforcing the painting's theme of exploitation and the ease with which individuals are consumed and forgotten by the collective pursuit. The expression of desperation. Among the stoic masks, a single face contorts in a grimace, breaking through the monotony. This fleeting moment of expression hints at the emotional reality beneath the uniform surface. Here, Ensor exposes the cost of conformity: pain, frustration, and suppressed anguish. The twisted mouth and furrowed brow of this figure offer a glimpse into the psychological toll exacted by participation in an oppressive collective. The artwork recognizes that even in the midst of overwhelming sameness, individuality persists, wounded, but not entirely extinguished. This subtle deviation from the norm humanizes the crowd, reminding the viewer that each participant, though visually subsumed, carries an internal struggle. The painting thus asks us to consider the inner lives sacrificed on the altar of social ambition and greed. The symbolism of the golden light. The source of the painting's radiant gold is ambiguous, positioned at the convergence point of the crowd's movement. Its brilliance recalls religious iconography, suggesting the promise of salvation, enlightenment, or higher ideals. Yet, the fact that such an ominous, faceless throng emerges from this light complicates any easy interpretation. The glow could equally represent false hope, a seductive, hollow ideal that lures the masses toward destruction. In this reading, the light becomes a symbol for the manipulative potential of societal values, where high-minded rhetoric cloaks self-interest and greed. Ensor's ambiguous treatment of the light challenges viewers to question the true nature of collective aspirations. Are they genuinely uplifting, or do they merely mask a parasitic drive consuming both leaders and followers alike? The shadowed foreground. In the foreground, thick shadows stretch ominously across the floor, following the crowd's advance like a stain. These shadows, sharp and inky, extend the painting's mood of foreboding. They act as visual evidence of the destructive footprint left by unchecked societal ambition. The darkness spilling toward the viewer suggests that the consequences of collective greed do not remain contained but spread, contaminating everything in their path. The stark contrast between the illuminated source and the deep shadows hints at a fundamental duality within human enterprise. The painting's foreground warns that every forward march, every pursuit of progress, under dubious motives, leaves behind scars that are difficult to erase. Ensor thus uses shadow not only as a formal device, but as a commentary on the hidden costs of societal action. The collective march as social critique. Taken as a whole, the composition stands as a pointed critique of the parasitic dimension of societal greed. The relentless crowd, moving blindly toward an ambiguous light, becomes a powerful symbol for the dangers of groupthink and the suppression of moral judgment in the face of collective ambition. Ensor's use of repetition, ambiguous symbolism, and dramatic lighting constructs a visual allegory for the loss of individuality and the ethical perils of conformity. The painting's oppressive atmosphere and deliberate erasure of identity challenge viewers to reflect on the true nature of progress and the societal structures that claim to serve humanity but often exploit it. In examining these layered visual cues, the work emerges as a timeless reflection on the vulnerability of the individual within mass society. The seductive power of ideology and the sometimes devastating consequences of unchecked communal desire. Ensor's masterful synthesis of craft and meaning ensures that the painting remains a vital touchstone for discussions about the costs and dangers of societal greed.